Hey y'all, it's your girl Sia, and I'm back with another video. Y'all, I'm hitting my pin, so just bear with me as I have this conversation. I may cough a couple times. It is not intentional. But I just saw that $96 billion. Okay, so listen. There was a video that came across my phone that stated that TikTok had been officially banned. And so I was a bit curious because I can still access TikTok. So I was trying to figure out, like, is this for real this time, or is it just speculation? Or I know that they're trying to ban TikTok, but I'm sick of hearing that it's banned and it's not actually banned, right? So that part is driving me nuts. I just think people, utilize, clickbait obviously to get more views on their videos. So as I'm doing research and I'm still trying to find, like, okay, was this official? Like, did they really ban TikTok? I come across the video that said that the president, has now allotted Ukraine $96 billion worth of money. And it's very interesting to me because maybe there's something about all this that I'm missing, because what I don't understand is how, when and unfortunately the clip that came up was CNN. So when I go in the comments, because I'm curious, I'm like, okay, bro, you got all these comments. First off, I'm gonna take the emotion out of it. I was pretty kind of like, what the fuck? Like, really? Are we really giving this amount of money to Ukraine? And I'm thinking, well, was there anything else written in the bill? Like, how does this, like, where it's almost like people are okay with the crumbling of this country. I don't know. Like, maybe there's something as far as it relates to the right, like, that I'm missing, right? Maybe there's something in the dialogue that I'm missing. Maybe my comprehension is off. Because maybe I am seeing things from one side, but I'm not understanding how giving $96 billion, billion, just billions, right? We've got a lot of things that money could really help here in the United States, but for some reason, people are in full support of this money going elsewhere and not back into the American people's pockets, which is very confusing. Like I said, I feel like there is a group of people, and it's a large group of people. Let me be clear, that comment section was not low. Okay. So that tells me there are a lot of people that are in full support of what's happening. Like, I mean, maybe I'm just perceiving it wrong. Maybe this is going to benefit the United States somewhere down the future, and it's something that I just don't see, or maybe I'm not privy to. But somehow this is going to make all our lives better, and there's just something that I'm just not seeing. Like, maybe I don't know. Like, I don't know why these people still, like, even if you're not going to vote for Trump, right? Why the hell are you voting for somebody who would much rather give $96 billion to a country but not you? It's almost like I'm okay with my country giving to everybody else but me. Is that the lot? Like, do people really think like America is still really wealthy or something? Like, I guess I'm confused. And $96 billion from where? And how did the Republicans allow that to even, like, how did that even become a, huh? How did was there a negotiation? Like, I'm confused. Like, were other people a part of this decision? Because they said the president, signed off on. So I don't know if it's a bill or if it's something. It might be a bill, you guys. I think it's something that actually passed. But then I'm trying to figure out why. And maybe not so much as to why, but how does this help the American people? Like, and okay, so maybe I need to go back and rewatch, but I'm pretty sure this bill passed, meaning that it's full on ready to go. But then in my mind, it's like, why would the Republicans allow that shit to happen? Did the Republicans have a say? Like, what the heck? So, yeah, I mean, $96 billion again is going to some foreign country that only certain white people know about. Because let's be clear, I don't know a thing about Ukraine. I know a lot about my potholes in the street, right? I know about property tax. I know about all the issues that we're having, inflation, like things that are right here at home. Who I guess, and I say it like I know everybody in the world, but I'm starting to think people are in cahoots with Ukraine. Like the United States has to be, and I've heard a little bit about, the history and stuff like that, but I don't want to say the United States. I want to say the people, a large amount of people are in support of Ukraine. And I don't know if that's because they're afraid of Russia. Like I don't get no fear vibes from Putin, right? I'm not saying he can't put them in me, but I'm just saying Putin doesn't seem to me like a scary guy. Like I don't think that's the intent that he tries to come across. Like I am probably more concerned with China than I would be Russia. This is just my personal opinion. Maybe I'm a bit off, but I don't see Russia as the threat that they're being painted out to be. And maybe there's something with the conversation that I'm missing, right? Maybe there's something that I'm really freaking missing here. But now I just feel like the more money we send towards Ukraine, like there's gotta be a reason. It ain't just, hey, we want to help these people. It's deeper than that. There's no way, because if that was the case, the first round of funding that them people got, that would have been it. It's a deeper, there's a reason why this money's being sent. There's a reason why the president has worked so hard to get this passed, right? Because he ain't stopped fighting for it. He just, went and came across a few hurdles, and apparently all of a sudden the deal's done. Well, who allotted that deal? Like who said that was okay? See, I'm getting a bit frustrated because I feel like the American people should have a say in these matters. Like if it's my money that's being taxed, it's my money that's going out somewhere. If it's the country, it's almost like, what is it? The slogan, we the people, by the people, for the people. Look, I'm doing it all wrong, but y'all know what I mean. For the people, by the people, we the people. I don't know, but I know, not off the top of my head right now, but I know that that's a slogan that the American government was supposed to live by. Now it's more like a cliche. Like, I forgot the word. I should Google it. But y'all know what I mean. It's almost like a cliche. Like the government just is able to do whatever it wants to at any given time. And apparently, I mean, I think the Republicans would have to answer. I mean, if it's not a decision that was made solely by the president, then I think that the Republicans should have to answer to why this was even allowed to pass. Like I thought there were people that, but checks and balances. So where's the balance? Like that's a lot of money to be given to somebody. Whose pocket is that coming out of? Is it Oprah's? I don't even know if Oprah, is it Jeff Bezos? Like I need some answers. And I know that we're never going to get the answers in the manner that we want them. Like, I just want them clear cut. Are you stealing from me or not? Yes or no? I don't want to have to keep speculating. Like, the speculation gets tired. It's like all this conspiracy shit. I'm like, okay, can y'all just do what y'all ready to do? Like, I'm sick of like having to always look out for a boogeyman kind of deal. Cause it's there, you just don't know where. I'm sick. Like, I don't understand the logic of people who support Biden, and it almost pisses like. And when I use that word, understand that that's how upset I seem to get in my mind because I don't logically understand what benefit any American really has right now to having that guy as president. Now, in terms of, I understand women in the reproductive system, right? And a part of me, because of, all of the things that we see have taken place. I get women's concerns, but I think that people have to understand something. It is not the Republican community that is supporting all this weird shit as it relates to people's biological makeup and their sexuality. Like, that's not who's pushing all that. That's number one. So all this stuff about estrogen in the water for men and men are too feminine, and all this conversation about the 4B movement and the men, I don't know what's going on with them, because I'm sorry, women are asking you to stay away, and I don't know what the men were thinking in the attempts to try to retaliate. I wish the it wasn't always a tit for tat. Let me listen to what you say and let me strive to correct it, right? I would think that that's the better way to go about it, but that's just me. But you have all these dialogues happening, and the biggest fear that women are having is their freedom, like their right to be a woman, right? They don't want to be set backwards. I don't know that, like I said, I think the Republicans, this is why I don't know if I'm voting, because I don't know how sincere the Republicans are. Like, in my mind, when the person is serious, let's just keep it a buck. Everybody's gonna know. It's not just a talking point or a bullet point. If I want somebody out of my house, while I know it's not that easy for everybody, but there's ways to do things, speedily, expeditely, right? I'm just saying, I'm gonna make sure that shit happen. If I want something, I make it happen. Do you understand me? So the fact that certain things have not happened really just, I don't like my emotions being played with like a fucking toy. I'm not a yo-yo. I'm not a wound up doll. I don't appreciate it. Okay. So I don't know that I will be voting, because I need some answers as to this $96 billion bill. Like, how did that even come about to where it was even passed? How? Did the man just write a new law and put it into effect by himself? Like, that's where the questions, I feel like the holes in the right and left narrative just be falling short, because how is it that these things are so bad, but nothing has happened, and all the American people are just, it's a hope and a dream, hope and a dream, hope and a dream. I don't know, Sway. I need some answers. I need I just feel like that just kind of makes sense, right? I think these are questions we should be asking. What did so you mean to tell me we got to get rid of everybody in the party? Because this is where it's coming to. People are playing off of people's emotions because it's a moneymaker. So I don't even know who to believe. And I'm going to tell you now, the Bible said, and I keep thinking about this because I had a friend that told me one time that when the end of times, and I know it's not the end of times, it's the end of the world as we know it. Yes, we are coming up on some change. Hang on, y'all. We are coming up on some change, okay? The World Economic Forum had just announced that we're definitely ushered into a new world order. So this is not, like, I don't know, are we saving the country or are we not? So, like, this is where my frustration comes into play so bad, because I just feel like things are changing and people are more comfortable than they're not comfortable. I feel like when people's backs are against the wall, you know, usually shit gets done. I say usually for a reason, because I just don't believe the way they tell history that my ancestors or anybody's ancestors that were born in America, excuse me, if you were born here in America and you got ancestors of them kinds of times, you know damn well the people of this country did not fucking play, bro. Like they didn't play. Like they didn't play. They wanted something, they took it. And it's at a point now where it's like, what are we waiting on? You've got inflation at an all-time high. You've got a president that just $96 billion. Like what is the money going towards? Like how is it helping them? And then in my mind, that is picking a side, right? Like if you're going to give $96 billion, you are essentially saying, and again, they're doing it in the guise of, oh, they need help. No, this is them funding a side, and it's obvious. But I'm thinking, if the side costs this much, $96 billion, that must be one terrible side to choose. Like I'm just saying, like that's a lot of money to have to, and it's not just the $96 billion. It's all the other money that went with it during the Inflation Act, right? There's so much money that's been sent to this one country, which makes me wonder, like, do we have a country full of like Ukrainians? Like, I mean, not to say it like that. I don't know. I know white people listen. Y'all are all from different kinds of areas, and I'm just trying to figure out where the connection is, where the ally is, like where, to the point of this detriment. Like, where are we moving to Ukraine? Are y'all like what's happening? And I just feel like the answers we get are not good answers. They're not satisfactory, because when you have people that, like, I was sitting here looking at some taxes, right? And I really look at the types of people I'm dealing with, the kind of money they bring in, and then looking at the profession. If you go back, like, what are we in 2024? So if you go back even to like the 60s, right? The 50s, the 70s, right? Like, these folks, like the kinds of money some of these people make was a hell of a lot more. It got you a lot further. Like I remember there was this nurse who was freaking out about having to pay a bill, and I'm thinking, you're a nurse, don't you make money? And I'm finding out these folks make just about as much money as me on on average. So I'm thinking, you go to school to do that, but you only make this much. Like that shit, one, it trips me out of my mind. But two, I'm thinking, well, that ain't much, but a lot of people think it ain't much because inflation is high. Like, if inflation weren't so high, we'd be living life, like for real. But because of how high inflation is, I feel like I have financial creative skills, but I do feel like I'm technically one paycheck away. If it had to, let's say, $1,000, I don't have it. Can I get it? Yes. But realistically, if something happened tomorrow, I would say that my wealth is due to my ability to get it again quickly, right? It's not really because I make a whole lot. And then again, I do make a lot, but because of inflation, I don't make a lot. So my frustration comes in because you have a lot of people here in this country that could utilize that money, right? $96 billion. I feel like that's a lot for to go around, right? That could really take care of a lot of the problems that we see. And the problem is that money doesn't go to the people. Right, it goes to all these different government agencies, and then the government agencies are, dictating how that money is spent and did it. It needs to come back to the people. If you're giving that kind of money away to a country where I don't even know not one person from Ukraine. I know a person from Russia. I don't know one person from Ukraine. Right? I don't have any family members there. I don't understand why I'm being signed up to be so heavily invested in a country that, real talk, if I was there, they probably couldn't stand me. Like, let's keep it a buck. So as a black person, this shit is really confusing, and I don't mean to say it that way, but a lot of things do boil down to where people are from in their bloodlines. For someone that was born in America that has no ties to anybody in that country, that's confusing. It's confusing to, why am I suffering, essentially? And I think people think, again, America is just this wealthy country that we're not. I think that's really it. That's gotta be it for people to say, you know what? I'm willing to have roommates, right? I'm willing to, have to deal with migrants and all that. Like for people to really put their livelihood at risk. And it also makes me ask, who's all protected from all of this? Meaning that if the country keeps going in the manner that it goes in, who are the people that are already, because people are already preparing. There's no fucking way. You mean to tell me y'all is still like the country is still declining and people aren't preparing? Who are the people that are preparing? Those are conversations, in my opinion, those shouldn't be like friendly conversation. Like, see, I be watching too many movies with spies and 007. See, I wish I was born in that life, because I would be, let me tell you, I would not be nice. I'm telling you that now. I don't understand how some of these people are just walking around. The American people are supposedly so frustrated, but everybody's controlled. Everybody's movements are controlled. They have to be. You got a migrant situation that was crazy. So that means many people accepted that, even though they didn't necessarily say it. Right? See, that's what I'm saying. I just feel like there are more people in support of Biden and the laws that he makes, and I think people understand. There's gotta be. And then the people who aren't in support of Biden are busy on podcasts, running their mouths. What change has actually been done, though? Is there something that I'm missing? Like any change? So I know people think Trump is the answer for 2024. We'll see. I'm still waiting to be convinced that that's the answer. Okay. I understand this conversation about, you gotta vote the other way, so that, if you vote this way, then it stops the other president from being president, y'all. I don't even know who's really to blame. And I know this sounds crazy, right? But Alex Jones said it once, and one day I'm gonna try to find this saying where they talk about how the president in the office, right? Everything you see after the president is really that previous president's fault, right? So it's like you don't really see what the president does until the president is out of office. I just got a lot of questions, a lot of holes that fuckery is not just gonna fix for me. It just isn't. I'm in a place right now where I don't know who to believe, who to trust. And when my friend told me, I didn't get to that point, but my friend had told me a long time ago, it wasn't really a friend, he was a roommate. And he had told me that because everybody used to at that time question me about the rapture and like what I would do during the rapture phase. I think people were just picking my brain sometimes. Sometimes they were trying to school me, but I think a lot of times they were just trying to know like where my head was at. And I remember telling him like, I don't know, I'll know. Like kind of like, because I'm a Pisces, we go with the flow. I don't really know things. I mean, I do, but I don't know until I know, right? I just feel like, in the moment, like, I guess we'll deal with it type shit. And so he was like, he told me, he said, well, how would you know what to do if you don't know who's telling you the truth? And I'm thinking, well, I got discernment, right? I'll figure it out. The guy told me, well, you might want to start reading your Bible, because the Bible, something about what was in the Bible stated that the only way you would know what is actually truth versus fiction in the end times. And please understand that that's intentional. And that's, I don't know if you guys notice all the AI integration and all that jazz. Like it's a lot of AI integration going on, which I mean, AI is cool, I guess. Because I mean, I don't know. I just feel like it just makes everything run smoother. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I haven't played with it enough. I like the image generator stuff, right? I like all of that. But like, I don't know. Some of it is still a bit dumbed down for me, and I want to see something that's really like, wow, like amazing, right? Because that's how they make it seem. Um, but with the integration of AI, and it's so crazy too, because something people have been talking about is the fact that AI is going to be, what do they say, take over everything, and then all the jobs will be given to India or something like that. And I just seen an ad on Facebook, right, for $189, right, a month. You get bookkeeping, you get tax, you get business bookkeeping, you get business tax, you get all of these things, 1099. I mean, everything that an accountant essentially does, these folks are offering for like $189. And I'm thinking, I don't know not one accountant that works and does one, like these accountants are, some accountants are pricey, right? So I'm not really seeing that all that work will be done for quality with an accountant. Like, you're not hiring a CPA at $189 a month unless the company is bringing in a lot of volume, and then they're paying their employees at a much higher rate because of the amount of influx they get, right? But essentially, I'm not really seeing that. Not for $189. We just charge somebody $750 for one business return, and y'all telling me they get all of that for $189? No, not at all. Not if you're hiring no American CPA. Now, if you're hiring people from India to do what, India, then yeah, you could charge $189. So people got to be very careful with that, because I was shocked to see that. I was like, that don't even, realistically, the software that you utilize don't even allow you to file a tax return with, I mean, you like, okay, so if I file a tax return, it's damn near $100 for me to come out of my pocket. So let's say if I charge a client $200, right? I'm going to see if it's during tax season, that's going to be minus the software. So it's not even just to have the software. It's going to be minus the how I'm set up. I got to pay for the tax return first for the client to be able to use, and for me to be able to file the return, right? So if the client, if the pricing fee, and keep in mind, depending on the software, it goes higher and higher, but my fee is the lowest I could find it, which is a little less than $100 to e-file. So every return I do, I gotta come out of pocket $100. And that don't, like, so the client may think they're paying me too, and I'm only getting one. So this is why you're starting to see companies increase their fees, right? And really, if you're dealing with a good CPA, they're not charging you, bro, $200 a month. The hell for all of that? No, bro, like, not at all. So some of these positions are being shipped off to India, because you can see it. Where are you getting $189 at? Unless you got bookkeepers in Mexico or somewhere, right? Because $189 to somebody else is a lot compared to the average American person. So in situations like that we're starting to see, I've got to be able, according to this man, I've got to be able to know the difference between real and fiction. And the only way I would know that is by reading my Bible. This is what I was told about 10 so many years ago. So I gotta, like, for me personally, people don't understand there's a level of karma that comes with decisions that you make. And so when you're out there voting, and I mean, I wasn't finna vote for Biden. Okay. The stuff that he was talking about did not resonate with me at all. What Trump was talking about at the time resonated with me, given now that I've been able to entire situation for what it is. I just don't know. I don't know that I will be voting. There's not, like, I don't know that I have a motivation to vote, right? But I'm still gonna talk about stuff, because I feel like it's everybody's duty to talk about it. But I feel like America needs there's something that's gotta be revamped, or, like, maybe that's the wrong word. It needs a redo. Like, it needs a I'm convinced at this point that we need a whole fresh, like, We need to find something else. Like it is getting to a point where I just feel like we really need to look at different options and not just the red blue paradigm. Like I don't know. I don't know what it's called. Innovation? Like, I don't know. But America, like, we need a whole new revamping of things. And I understand why they use older people, right? I get it why older folks are in that industry because they have a little bit more wisdom, quote unquote. They're supposed to have a little bit more wisdom and move a little bit more wisely, right? I definitely listen to an older man before I listen to a kid. But then again, I'm starting to realize young people got great ideas. Like, we just need something. I don't know what it is, but the system that we've been using is not working. So there's holes in it somewhere, right? For it to get this out of hand. So I don't know, y'all. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. Like, I'm really not happy about this $96 billion bill. I don't get it. I think I'm gonna still do some research because I just want to know what level of pushback is there, was there. Like, it feels like I say, when you know an injustice is happening, but you know you can't do anything to change it. And I think deep down, the reason why nothing has been changed in terms of the people, in terms of the way we do things, in terms of the country, really, is because people are, everybody is pretty much complacent. It's like, and or they feel like they can't do anything about it. But we sit and we talk about it all day long, which is cool. I mean, but the power is in the numbers, and I mean, they don't have a problem showing us who's in power. I'm just saying, we got a lot to lose, but I guess I would much rather fight for my country and lose it all together because I'm fighting for something than to let them take over and just watch it happen. So I don't know what's going on, but I'm not liking anything that I hear these days. And I did want to make sure I did a video on that because that peed me off. Okay. I don't even know how to else like to get around that. That's crazy to me. And I do want to know, what is the connection to Ukraine? Like, what is the reasoning? Like, not the bullshit reason. What is the actual reason we're giving this amount of money to this country? I don't know. Like I said, I don't have any ally. I don't know them people. Like that, I'm sure there's some great people, but I don't know them. But they that great to where we giving $96 billion to them and not to us, the people of the country that is giving the money away? Like, I'm confused. So I've noticed that I've become more interested in the liberal mindset because I don't get it. I want to know what makes a person vote for these types of things outside of the destroying the country. But then it's confusing because it's like, well, you live in the country you're wanting to destroy. I mean, maybe those are the preppers. Maybe not the preppers, but the people with the bunkers. Like, I don't know what makes people vote for their own freaking demise, right? I just don't get it. So I mean, shout out to all them people in the comments under CNN's video. Like, I almost said something, but I was like, I forgot this is their hangout spot. Like, I'd be wasting my time. But I am curious. Like, can we get a real argument? And that's not even being like, I just want to hear the point of view. And a real point of view, not an emotional point of view, not nothing but here I'm spitting out the facts point of view. I'm trying to understand. So that's all I gotta say on the matter, y'all. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. With that being said, I'm out. Peace.